Hello there, and thanks for joining me once again. In this tutorial I'm going to tie up a fly. It's a searching nymph pattern. It's called the sand fly. Quite an unusual pattern. I got out of my book Flies the Best 1000 again, and I thought you might like to see this guy tied up. This is the first time I've tied it out of the book, and thought you might like to see it tied, so I'll get this guy out of the vise here, a fresh hook in, and we'll get started. The hook is a 3906B mustad, tying it on a size 8. You can tie it from an 8 down to a 14, so I chose the large size here for the video, so I'll get this hook locked in the vise. Now, for thread, calls for 6/0 black, so I'm using Danville Fly Master here, pre-wax thread. And for the weight, I'm using 0.15 lead wire here, and I'm going to wrap the shank up with a fair amount of wraps. Probably around 20, I'd say, or so, before I'm finished here. So just wrap those ones on there. Get that wrapped on. Then I'm going to go the other direction here with quite a few turns. Then I'll wiggle that off like so, and just press those all together and put that in about the center of the shank, pretty close to the center there. Just want to make sure that's where I want it there. Press down. Okay, I got one piece there that didn't seem to want to go around, so I'll get that pushed in. There we go. Alrighty. Now I'll start my thread here right behind the lead first. Build a little thread dam up, just like so. Then I'm going to jump across, and in front of that lead, another little dam here with the thread. Then I'll wrap back, then forward once again, and just push that little piece down that's being stubborn there. There we go. Then wrap back one more time. Then I'll snip the tag off here, and we'll come back to just about above the barb. Now the tail on this guy just calls for a little small tuft of white marabou, so I just got a stem off a marabou plume here, and I'm just going to pull a little small amount off for the tail, not too much. Get that ready to tie in. Okay. That's what you want, about that much there. I'm just going to even the ends up with the scissors and tie that in and wrap it up towards where the lead starts there, and bind that down good with snug wraps. And I'm going to come back right about there. Okay, now I'm just going to take the tail's a little too long, so what I'll do is just take my fingers, thumb and forefinger here, and just pinch it and pull, because you want that tail a little bit less than the hook gap in the length, so it's about right there. Okay, now the rib is simple. It's just a piece of yellow thread, and I chose a yellow 210 Danville, a little heavier thread for the rib, so it'll show up here. Okay, so we'll catch that in here. Just wrap that back to right in front of our tail. Stick it in the material clip, bind the rest of that down. Okay, now I want to come back again to in front of the tail. Now the dubbing, it called for brown rabbit, but instead of brown rabbit I like to use UV dubbing, so I'm going to use some UV brown ice dub. So, a little wax on the thread here. And as you know, this stuff dubs a little harder than your rabbit furs, but it'll work. So, just dub a noodle here. The body started. Okay, let's work that down the thread here. Okay. Alrighty. Now I'm just going to start to wrap this guy on. Go back so I'm right in front of the tail when I start there. Then we'll start to wrap forward. Just like so. Just keep that noodle a little tight there and just keep winding forward. And just going to keep that body uniform as possible. Just like so. Alrighty. That's about right there. That's enough right there for the body, so that's fine. I'm just going to clip some of them stray fibers out of there. Okay. There's the body. Now we'll just come behind that with the rib. So I'll take the yellow thread there and just begin to wrap that up for the rib. And we'll probably get 5 or 6 wraps all together here. Just like so. Tie that off. A couple wraps back to lock it in place. And I'll snip that out of there. Alrighty, there's our tail and body and rib. So the last step is our collar. It's a light ginger hand hackle, soft hackle. I got it ready to tie in there, got the tip ready to tie in. So I'll tie that in here, right on top. Wrap forward, and then we're going to wrap back onto that to lock it in place. Then I'll come in and snip that tip off. Always like to wrap back on the tips so that way it's locked in there and it can't slip out on you. And I like to make also one wrap behind to prop it up a little, to make it I find a bit easier to wrap that way. That's what I find. Just makes it go a little easier for you. Then we're just gonna move our thread forward here and begin to wrap that hackle. So I'll grab a hold of that with my pliers here. Just like so here. And try to get those all going back. Just fold them back. And we'll begin to make our wraps. Just like so. Just preen them all back as you go. Okay. And we're going to use all this guy, so we'll come underneath, tie that off, a couple wraps, a couple in front, release my pliers, and I'm going to just check that, make sure the hackle's spread around evenly as possible. Fold back on that a few wraps, and I'll come in and snip that stem out of there. Just turn the vise upside down here almost and snip that out. Okay, now we'll just start to build a head on this guy. And we'll come back a little ways farther on it. And build up a nice little head on him and whip finish. Okay, there he is. Okie dokie. Alrighty, now I'm just going to come in with my whip finisher and 4 or 5 turn whip finish, and he'll be done. Okay, snug that down nice and tight, and we'll snip off that excess. And I'll come in and give him a little brush here with my Velcro brush. Just get those hackles evened out there. Well, there he is, folks. Another size 8 sandfly. Quite an interesting pattern, easy to tie. And I can see this one catching the attention of a trout. So I'll just take some Solar Res here and cover them thread wraps and cure them up. Okay. Just come around there. Just a touch, not too much. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through that, make sure I got no too much in case I got any excess there. I'll get that out. There we go. Alright. All I have to do is cure this guy up. So what's happening with the light? I don't know if you can see it on the video, but the rib really shows up once that the light hits that. That thread really stands out. Okay. Okay, done deal. So there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have these materials, go ahead and give this guy a tie and throw him in the box and try him this upcoming season. Or if we're out here, you can fish now, give him a try for sure. So like always, I want to thank you a lot for watching, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that good old subscribe button. Appreciate that a great deal, and throw in a like too if you wish. So until next time, stay safe out there, happy tying, and I'll see you again soon, and so long for now, folks.